Hello, children. The topic for today's discussion is my childhood. This is the sixth lesson in your textbook, and this is an excerpt from the autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, who was our 11th president. He became president in the year 2002, and the name of this book is Wings of Fire. This is his autobiography. Okay, and in this excerpt, he has talked about his childhood. Kalam was a renowned scientist and a statesman. Statesman means one who is expert in the affairs of state, and he is known for his projection in space, defense, and nuclear technology, which guided India into the 21st century. Well, he was born on 15th October 1931 at Rameswaram, which is an island. I will show you the location just now. And he passed away on 27th July 2015 at Shillong, which is the capital of the Meghalaya state. He lived for about 84 years, but he has contributed a lot to the society. Let us know where he was born. I'll just show you. You can see here. This is the train which goes from Mandapam, which is a railway station on the mainland, Tamil Nadu, to the Rameswaram island. Okay. The one side there is this Arabian Sea, the other side there is Bay of Bengal. There is meeting of these two seas over there. Okay, and just see, you will just learn a bit more. You see.
सबसे पहले जान लेते हैं कि पाम्बन का ये ब्रिज है कहाँ पर।
Look here, this Pamban bridge connects. The name of the bridge is Pamban Bridge, which connects the mainland to the island of Rameswaram, isn't it? This Pamban Bridge. Okay, this is Pamban Bridge. This here.
ये है हमारा प्यारा भारत, और अगर हम लोग इसमें तमिलनाडु राज्य की ओर बढ़ें तो आप लोग देख पाओगे कि समुद्र के काफी करीब अगर
Look here. This is Ramanathapuram. This is the district headquarters. Okay, and this is, you can see here. This is Rameswaram. So the district headquarters of Rameswaram was Ramanathapuram. Okay, the reference is there in the book, in your lesson, that we'll see afterwards. But now you can understand, this is Ramanathapuram district headquarters, and this is the island of Rameswaram. Okay.
कोने तरफ जाएं तो आपको मंडपम नाम की जगह देखने को मिलेगी। यहाँ बगल में श्रीलंका भी है, लेकिन और करीब पहुंचे तो आपको रामेश्वरम आइलैंड देखने को मिलेगा, और ये रहा इंडिया की ओर का जो सबसे कोने वाला।
Look here, this is Mandapam. The train starts from here and goes to Rameshwaram. Okay, here you can see very easily, right?
हिस्सा जिसे हम मंडपम नाम से जानते हैं, और जो बीच का जो नीला हिस्सा आप देख रहे हैं, ये है समुद्र, और रामेश्वरम से इंडिया को जोड़ने के लिए पामन ब्रिज बनाया गया है, और सबसे कोने में ये जो हिस्सा है, ये है धनुषकोडी।
Actually, the train earlier used to go up to Dhanushkodi. Dhanushkodi it is called. But now, in 1964, there was a cyclone, and the railway track was completely destroyed. So train only goes up to Rameshwaram only. It doesn't go to Dhanushkodi now.
यहाँ से श्रीलंका बहुत ही करीब है। मान्यता तो ये भी है कि हमारे प्रभु श्री राम जी ने लंका जाने के लिए धनुषकोडी से ही पैदल पुल बनाया था।
So this was about the location of Rameshwaram, and APJ Abdul Kalam was our president and a renowned personality. So there is a memorial and a Kalam house. I will just show you. You just see here. Here you can see, this is the house of APJ Abdul Kalam. See, in this house,
हाउस ऑफ कलाम, ये भारत के भूतपूर्व राष्ट्रपति डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम जी का घर है, जिसे
look here. Upstairs there is this museum, and downstairs they live. The family lives there in downstairs. There are two parts of this house.
अब एक म्यूजियम में तब्दील किया गया है। यहाँ पर उनके जीवन के बारे में तथा उनके द्वारा प्राप्त की हुई उपलब्धियों को दिखाया गया है। डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम।
There is a memorial also. This is APJ Abdul Kalam Memorial. I will just show you. Just see it.
कलाम नेशनल मेमोरियल, दोस्तों, अगर आप रामेश्वरम आओ और यहाँ नहीं आते तो आप एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण जगह मिस करते हो। यहाँ पर भारत की विविधता में एकता को दर्शाया गया है तथा भारत के सैन्य और अंतरिक्ष के कार्यक्रम में डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम जी के योगदान को दिखाया गया है। यहाँ पर डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम जी की समाधि भी है।
Okay, so this was some information about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, which I wanted to show you. Now let us begin the lesson. The first paragraph runs like this. You can see here on the screen. Well, he says, I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram, in the erstwhile Madras state. Now it is Tamil Nadu state. His father's name was Jainul Abdin. Okay, and he says he had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. And the same great qualities were there in his mother, whose name was Ashiamma. Okay, and here in these lines, Kalam tells you that their family used to feed so many pilgrims who used to come to the holy town of Rameshwaram. So, more than their family members, the others came and the family very generously fed those people. This is what you will find here in these lines. Now let us go to the second paragraph. Okay, he tells about himself. You see in the second paragraph, he says that I was one of many children in their household. There were many children. A short boy with rather undistinguished looks. Not very remarkable, just undistinguished looks. Okay, not distinguished, not very remarkable. He was an ordinary boy. Okay, but his parents were tall and handsome. Parents were tall and handsome. Okay, and he says we lived in an ancestral house which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It is a pakka house, and the house is on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. And there here it is about his father, my austere father. Austere means very strict and severe in religion or in any other spheres. Okay, my austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for in the terms of food, medicine, or clothes. Okay, and he says there were no luxuries in the house, but necessities were there which were provided. There was a middle class family, and materially and emotionally. Okay, he says his childhood was a secure childhood. This is what he tells you in the second paragraph. Now let us go to the third paragraph. Okay, here you can see on the screen, this is the third paragraph. Okay, over here. Well, he says the Second World War broke out in 1939, and when I was 8 years old. And in this paragraph, my dear boys and girls, he tells you that how he earned money. He says a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. Tamarind you call imli in Hindi. Okay, so there was a demand of tamarind seeds in the market. So he used to collect the tamarind seeds and used to sell them to a provision shop, and that provision shop was in Rameshwaram. Okay, and, on the Mosque Street. There he used to sell, and he used to earn 1 anna. 1 anna, it is a currency. Anna means an old Indian coin worth about 6 paise. You can see it is here. Okay, so this is how he earned money. Okay, by selling the tamarind seeds when he was a child, 8-year-old boy. But his brother-in-law was there. His name was Jalaluddin. So Jalaluddin used to tell stories about the war, Second World War, and those stories Kalam used to read in the Dinamani. Dinamani was a newspaper. In that newspaper, Kalam used to read the stories which his brother-in-law Jalaluddin had told him. Okay, and here you see, well, you can see on the screen. Okay, the first and as the Second World War started. Okay, there town was secure, no doubt in it. But the first casualty, as he says here, came in the form of the suspension of the train halt at the Rameshwaram station. You have just seen the train used to go, at that time, the train used to go up to Mandapam. Okay, so from Indian mainland up to Mandapam, and Rameshwaram was in the middle. So the train halt was suspended. Okay, and his cousin, his name was Samshuddin. He used to collect the newspaper from the train, and he used to distribute those newspapers. It was he had in that business of collecting the newspapers and distributing. So when the train was suspended at the Rameswaram station, okay, and straight away went to up to Dhanuskodi, and then from Dhanuskodi straight went to the mainland of India. Okay, and the papers were thrown from the running train, and those newspapers were to be collected. So Samsuddin wanted some helping hand, and he found the helping hand in APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, so Samsuddin and Kalam agreed. Okay, I will collect the bundles and I will distribute them. Okay, so he says I filled the slot, means place, empty place. Okay, as a newspaper collector. Well, then Samsuddin helped me earn my first wages. So for this work, for this help, Samsuddin, his cousin, paid him certain amount of money, and Kalam says that he was proud to earn his first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. So it was for the first time that he had earned money. Earlier, he had sold tamarind and he had, earned money. That is different. But as a wage, wage, he had earned the first money by helping Samshuddin in collecting and distributing the newspaper. This is the information in the third paragraph, my dear boys and girls. And then let's go to the fourth paragraph. Here you can see on the screen the fourth paragraph. Okay. He says this: every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment. Okay. He says, I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father, and from my mother I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness. And so did my three brothers and sister. He had one sister and he had three brothers. So these great qualities, honesty, self-discipline, okay, faith in goodness and deep kindness, these qualities which he had earned from his father and mother became the essential part of his character. And that's why people know him. I will just show you how important he's felt in society even after he's gone. Now you can understand here. Just I'll show you here. You see,
सूरज की तरह चमकने के लिए सूरज की तरह जलना जरूरी है। सपना वो नहीं जो आप सोते हुए देखते हैं, सपना वो है जो आपको सोने नहीं देता।
These are all his quotations and very nice quotations. These are. That's why I wanted to show you.
किसी को हराना तो आसान है, लेकिन किसी को जीतना बेहद मुश्किल। ये डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम के कुछ ऐसे मशहूर उद्धरण हैं जो आज भी लाखों लोगों को प्रेरणा देते हैं।
मैं एक बस स्टैंड के आगे से गुजरी और वहाँ पे एक होर्डिंग था जिन पे उनकी एक बहुत ही ब्यूटीफुल सी कोटेशन लिखी थी। उसमें लिखा था कि ड्रीम्स आर नॉट दोज विच यू सी व्हेन यू आर स्लीपिंग, ड्रीम्स आर दोज विच डोंट लेट यू स्लीप। तब मुझे पता नहीं था कि डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम की कोटेशन है। नीचे मैंने उनका नाम देखा और उनकी फ़ोटो बनी हुई थी, और वो एक कोटेशन है जिसको पढ़ के मैंने ठान लिया कि जो भी मेरी ड्रीम है मैं बिल्कुल परस्यू करूँगी, और इसका बहुत बड़ा रीज़न डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम ही थे। उनकी
look here. In this way, you can understand how important he is felt. Sorry. Sorry. So you can understand how what was his importance and how important he's felt even now. Okay. He had three friends. Further, he says three close friends, and these three close friends were from the Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. Okay, and these three friends he had were very close to him. Ramanada Shastri. These were the school life friends. Ramananda Shastri and Arvindan and Shiva Prakashan. This Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, who was a priest in the Rameshwaram temple. Okay, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. So in this way, uh, with the Brahmin children, he had friendship, and there was no differences between them. He says this. As children, none of us ever felt any difference among ourselves because of our religious differences and upbringing. So they all lived together, and there was no difference between him and his friends. Okay, let us go to the next page. You see, and he says that after the death of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, Ramananda Shastri became the priest in the temple of Rameshwaram, and Arvindan uh, took the business of transport for visiting pilgrims to the Rameshwaram temple. And Shiva Prakashan, he became a catering conductor in the Southern Railway. In this way, all were just uh, employed in certain kinds of business. Okay, and here in the next paragraph, paragraph number 5, my dear boys and girls, it is very important. Okay, uh, annually one Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony was held. This Sita Rama Kalyanam means the marriage of Rama and Sita. Okay, and even if they were the Muslims, Kalam's family used to arrange a boat for this ceremony. Why the boat was required? Because the marriage site was in the mist, on an island who was in the midst of the ocean. Okay, so uh, for carrying, why was the boat required? See, one special platform was made on the boat for carrying idols of the Lord Rama, okay, from the temple to the marriage site, situated in the middle of the pond called Ram Tirth. That pond was called Ram Tirth. Okay, and that was near their house. Okay, this is how that Muslim family was engaged in helping the Hindus during their religious ceremonies and all. So it shows about the Hindu-Muslim unity. Okay, not only that, he says that events from Ramayana and life of Prophet Muhammad. Prophet means Prophet Muhammad, who was a preacher or founder of Islam religion. Okay, so the stories of Ramayana and Prophet Muhammad were the bedtime stories. His mother, his grandmother, and his mother and his grandmother used to tell the stories of Ramayana and the stories of Prophet Muhammad. So they just regarded Ramayana as good as they regarded Prophet Muhammad or Quran, their holy book. Well, this is about the content of the 5th paragraph. Let us go to the 6th paragraph, my dear boys and girls. Okay, and there one incident is narrated by Kalam. One day, when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came. So he was taking education in Rameshwaram Elementary School. A new teacher came, and about his new teacher, he tells you in the, yes, you will see in the following page. See, the new teacher could not stomach a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. Okay, in accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. He says that the new teacher said that you are a Muslim, now you can't sit in the first row, you go and sit in the last row. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri, because he was sitting with Ramananda Shastri. Okay, till then. Then he looked utterly downcast. Downcast means very, very sad and depressed. You can see here. Okay. As I shifted to my seat in the last row, the image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. Even now, I remember it. He says how he was weeping, how he was crying at that time. Okay, then what happened after school? These children went home, and they told their parents about the incident in the school. How Kalam was forced to sit in the last row. Okay, so Lakshmana Shastri, he summoned the teacher. He called the teacher, and he said that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. And he said, either you be here and reform yourself, okay, or you quit the school and the island, go away, he says. So when the teacher found that Lakshmana Shastri, he was a very respectable, very honorable man, okay, priest of the temple of Rameshwaram. So the teacher, what he did, he didn't protest, but the teacher regretted for his behavior, okay, and in this and thereafter he changed his conduct. In this way, this teacher was reformed. He became a reformed teacher. Thereafter, he considered all the children same, no difference as for the religion was concerned. Okay, then we go to the next paragraph. You just see here. Okay, this is a okay. This paragraph. On the whole, the small society of Rameshwaram was very rigid in terms of the segregation of different social groups. They were very rigid. Muslims followed the Muslim customs rigidly. The Indians followed the Indian Brahmins, they followed the Brahmin customs and traditions very rigidly. Okay. But there was one fellow, he was Kalam's science teacher, and his name was Shiva Subramanya Iyer. He didn't believe in segregation of society on the basis of religion. So he was a rebel. He protested against such customs. Okay. And he used to say, Kalam, I want you to develop so that you are on par with the highly educated people of the big cities. He wanted Kalam to develop. He was helping Kalam, even if he was a Muslim. And the teacher, Shiva Subramanya Iyer, he was from Brahmin family. Okay. Then, in the 9th paragraph, you'll see a very important incident. You'll just see here. Well, one day, he invited me to his home for a meal. Who invited? Shiva Subramanya Iyer. Okay. His wife was horrified because she was an Orthodox lady. She was horrified because on the idea of a Muslim boy being invited to dine in her ritually pure kitchen. There were rituals were performed and the kitchen was purified, and when a Muslim boy eats in the kitchen may be desecrated, isn't it? She thought. Okay. Okay, but Shiv Subramanya Iyer was not perturbed. He was not disturbed at all. Okay, the lady, his wife, refused to serve him meals. So Shiv Subramanya Iyer served the meal with his own hands. You can see here. Okay, then let's go to the next paragraph. Next page. He served the food with his own hands. Okay, and his wife stood there behind the behind the door and watched them eating. She observed them, and Shiva Subramanya Iyer invited me to join him for dinner again the next weekend. So 1 week's time was there. One day he had eaten with Kalam. Okay, and Shiva Subramanya Iyer, the teacher, says that next week again you come. Next weekend again you come and we will dine together. So 1 week's time was there. Observing my hesitation, he told me not to get upset, saying, once you decide to change the system, such problems have to be confronted. Problem means the problem between his wife and himself, religious barrier. Okay, they have to be confronted, and that barrier should be broken. But he says, when I visited his house the next week, Shiv Subramanya Iyer's wife took me inside her kitchen and served me food with her own hands. That means in 1 week's time, she was transformed. She might have introspected and she might have thought that whatever she did previous week, that conduct was not proper. So she changed. In this way, the people are transformed, they are changed. It is shown here. Kalam wants to show or emphasize that point over here in this paragraph. Okay. Then next is paragraph number 10. You can see here on the screen. Then the Second World War was over and India's freedom was imminent. Second World War was over. Second World War was fought between the Axis countries and the Allied powers. Okay, and it was over. It was fought between this Axis countries means this Germany, Italy, and Japan, and Allied powers means Great Britain, Russia, and the USA, France, etc. So Second World War was over, and it was thought that now India will be freed because so much had happened in the Second World War, and mass destruction and loss of life and property. And after Second World War, many colonies were vacated, and many countries were freed in Southeast Asia and Africa. So Indians thought that we will be getting our freedom. Indians will build their own India, declared Gandhiji. The whole country was filled with an unprecedented optimism. Unprecedented means that was not seen before. Optimism is optimism is hope, being hopeful. Okay, optimist means one who looks at the bright side of the things, and its opposite is pessimist, one who looks at the dark side of the things. So the whole country was filled with optimism, means the country was greatly hopeful about the development. Okay, at that time he says, Kalam says that I asked my father for permission to leave Rameshwaram and study at the district headquarters in Ramanathapuram. I have shown you in the map earlier in the beginning that where is this district headquarters of Ramanathapuram. Okay, he says that for the further studies he wanted to go to Ramanathapuram, which was the district headquarters. Okay, let us go to the next paragraph. Okay, that is paragraph number 11, and that is the last paragraph of this autobiography. He told his father, he says, he told me as if thinking aloud, okay, Abul, I know you have to go away to grow. Now you will not be with your family, you will be alone there, and there you will be growing. Okay, does the seagull not fly across the sun alone and without a nest? Seagull, young seagull, it flies around alone in the sky, no support, nobody to guide him. Okay, in the same way you will be alone, but you will be guiding yourself. Okay, he quoted Khalil Gibran to my hesitant mother. His mother was very worried because he was going to the district headquarters of Ramanathapuram. So she was worried. So he says that he consoled, his father consoled his wife that by quoting Khalil Gibran, your children are not your children, they are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Okay, they come through you, but not from you. You can give birth to the children. Okay, they come through you, but not from you. They are coming from far above. Okay, they are not your children, they are the children of the nature, God. They are children for the universe. So let them contribute to the society, let them contribute to the others. Okay, you may give them your love, but not your thoughts. You love them, but let them think freely. Okay, for they have their own thoughts. Children have their own thoughts, and you just give them proper line of thinking. Okay, and they will develop their own thoughts. So Kalam has said that in somewhere I had seen his quotations. He says that first the dream comes first, and then the thought, and then the action. First there is dream, and then there is a thought, and then it is converted into action. In this way it goes on. This is what Kalam has said. So in this way, my dear children, this short autobiographical piece, this lesson from his autobiography comes to an end, and there are the questions given in the end. You attempt them, and I will be giving you some extra questions also. Okay, In case of any difficulty, you can just talk to me and we shall be discussing it further if necessary. Okay, that's all for today. Have a nice time. Bye.